That's what, dude. Get that queued up. Oh yeah!
All right,
That sounded awful.
Yeah, it does.
all right, let's go.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 156 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're here all week long. We're your hosts, Anthony, Kenny, and Steven. Hello, guys.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. I needed a magnifying glass to hear you on the end there. You kind of drifted out on me. You're
Just
like
coming in, you know,
you're coming
subtle.
in subtle.
Yes.
That was very subtle.
Magnifying glass to hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like when you're driving, you got to turn the radio down so you can see better, right?
Kenny, breathalyze him, please. Sight with
I do
with
that though
sound.
sometimes.
What's
Oh
going
my
on?
god.
If I'm looking for like a house or looking for something, I'll turn the freaking radio down so I can see better.
There you go. See, that's what I was
So
going
horrible.
for. That's all I was going
So
for.
horrible.
You know, why not? Right? Why not?
So, guys, I was perusing YouTube the other day.
This could be
All good things are on YouTube, right?
Maybe.
And I came across this CNBC video about the rise of non-alcoholic industry. And how it's been booming in the past couple of years.
Okay, sir. Where are we going with this?
And I'm
gonna let you
wondering,
go.
like, your thoughts on it and like where its place is in like, you know, the industry.
The non-alcoholic?
Non-alcoholic.
I did get into coffee a few years ago. Is that the non-alcoholic we're talking about?
Is this like a?
So you went non-Irish coffee.
Taiwanese whiskey always.
Okay.
Is this like the Movember mocktail? What is it?
No, so
Mustache.
So there's a
I'm just kidding.
there's like a big
No
brewing.
jerk November? Is that what you said?
We don't want you to be a jerk to anybody. That's all
That's
he's
right.
saying.
Be nice.
Be nice. Just be nice.
Always be nice.
Always.
It's not the jerk I thought you were talking about.
Steven. Anthony's right there. Don't talk about him
My
like that.
virgin ears. Come on. Jeez.
Talk about Anthony like that. So you're
So
talking
go
about non-alcoholic beers. Is that what you're talking
Beer.
about?
Well, I believe I've seen. Isn't there some non-alcoholic bourbon out there as well?
There is. In fact, I know of another podcast that actually tried non-alcoholic bourbons.
Okay.
And the verdict from that podcast was no good, no bueno.
good.
They said, yeah, like I could see it, but like, why would you really want to drink this? And I was like, yeah, but I listened. I've listened to the other bourbon medias that talk about that.
So their argument was for this athletic brewing
Okay.
or bottling, I think it is. So they make canned beer, right? Different IPAs and lagers and all that stuff, and they've been growing massively. And so their big thing is like with people now with like, you know, working out and stuff,
Right.
they might have these like during the week because they know they have to get up in the morning and they don't want to be like quote hungover.
Okay.
And so they're not trying to like replace alcohol beverages.
Right.
They're just like using them with them.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't know if you guys had any of these yet or.
So I have not, and I would just say, why can't they just like have like a ginger ale or club soda or something? Why, you know, like why not just have some other kind of beverage? Like at night, sometimes they like rest easy tea instead of alcoholic beverage.
They said they're going to be these beers are going to be like on tap.
Really?
Yeah, like they're getting to that point. I guess where people want to go out and they don't want to like
Really?
have a cool looking drink.
So that's okay. That's a very interesting
So they
thing.
want to look like they're drinking so they fit in with the other people, but not really be consuming alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they like the taste, like I know I have neighbors.
In the world of... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was
Okay.
I have neighbors and they're pregnant,
Right.
and so they come out and they'll have the same drink, this
Right.
athletic brewing, I guess, to like.
Just drink water and whatever else you want to drink. But they have to... But
I
they
guess
want
they
that
like
look.
the bubbly. I guess
they
they
want
like
that
the bubbly.
look.
Maybe they have the flavor without.
Yeah.
I think I have a solution to this conundrum. I don't know that we'll be able to give any definitive advice here, but I think what we should do is we should contact some of these non-alcoholic companies and tell them like, hey, we have a bourbon podcast where we drink a lot of bourbon. Would you be willing to send us some of your products?
There you go.
We can have a clean mashup episode. I'm looking at Kenny. He
Super
already
clean.
looks like he's very upset.
Not upset. I'm just confused.
He's like not upset.
You know
just
what? We would have a clean bourbon episode, but we'll have to have an E rating because I think Kenny will be upset about it.
Well, I have a few things to say about this.
Okay, here we go.
Number one, in the world of social media and filters,
Right.
where everyone tries to look like something that they're not. I can see with somebody out and about wanting to look like they're going with the flow and drinking whatever, but they're really not. So they're wanting to fake it. I could see that.
Yep.
And then I have 3 other words for the people that are working out throughout the week and want this and want that. You have Z-Biotics,
Oh, here we go.
Plan A, and Water Boy.
There you go.
Drink those and won't feel hungover the next day anyway.
I knew that was coming.
Now, are those more expensive than non-alcoholic beer?
It does not matter.
Matter.
You enjoy what you want to enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to say. Just enjoy what you want to enjoy because, maybe there's a week where I just want pasta and I'm just going to eat nothing but spaghetti.
What's wrong with that?
I ate pizza 5 days last week.
Oh, let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's-
5 days in a row.
All right, so Kenny in our group chat, he's like,
5 days.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so fat right now.
Yep, me too.
he's
My
like,
pants barely fit.
and they're elastic.
They are.
So Kenny texts us. He's like, go to Jet's Pizza. Use code Turbo.
Yep.
Turbo. Use Turbo.
50% off.
50% off.
I
Party
had Jets
price.
5 days last week.
So we talked about it so much that was it the Thursday? I ended up ordering 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
With Turbo,
Right.
and it was 50% off.
Dude.
And we enjoyed it.
Yes.
All right, so here's what happened to me. Thank you, Kenny and Steven, for your peer pressure. So you guys were ordering before I did, and then when it became pizza night in my house, we over ordered. I think we had maybe 2.5 larges, smalls for the kids, whatever. So I did a little experiment. On Saturday, I ate nothing but pizza. I woke up and had 2 pieces of pizza in the morning. Then for lunch, I had 2 pieces of pizza. Then for dinner, I had I had 5 pieces of pizza spaced out after I'd eaten 4 pieces of pizza the night before. And Jets is not a
Jets is thick.
That's not the kind of pizza. So I had 9 pieces of pizza
Wait,
in less
hold
than
on, time
24
out.
hours.
Kenny, he said he was experimenting. This sounds lazy.
I'm just waiting to see what the experiment was. So let's finish this. Let's finish this. So what was the experiment?
Well, when you eat that much pizza, your system slows down.
Oh, really?
So it took me till at least Sunday or Monday to get back on track. My wife said, "You haven't eaten anything all day." The other day, she just, "You haven't eaten anything all day." I said, "That's going to go on that pizza bender."
I'm not been hungry.
Bender.
I've not been hungry for 2 days now. Y'all are making fun of me because I ate 4 pieces the other day at one sitting.
Right.
I told you how miserable I was.
Right.
And then you ate 4 pieces. You act like nothing was wrong. But then about 45 minutes later, you're like, "Oh, I'm hurting."
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was hurting, and
Yeah.
God, why'd you guys have to? I'm
Jets
blaming
is so
both of
good,
you because
though.
both of you
Jets
ate
is
it
so good.
before I did. So yeah, we're not.
No, I think the coupon's over now, isn't it?
Is it over?
Ended on the 28th.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Over
Dang
for,
it.
over for a little while now.
Yikes! Well, I wish if they had that coupon quarterly. Is it just once a year?
I've only seen it maybe once in the last 2 years. I don't know how. I haven't seen it much.
Wow.
I mean, it's 50% off, man.
It's a lot.
Honestly, man, I thought about I was going to order
He's gonna freeze them.
I was going to order 5 or 6 and freeze them. I really was. I really was going to order that.
Okay, I have a confession to make on the back of that.
Okay.
I actually was loading the cart up with wings and cheesy bread and all. And then I looked at him. It's oh, it only's for pizza. I'm like, oh, okay, damn it. I'm like, only pizza. Take all the other stuff out of the cart. Order another pizza.
Kenny, how is it that Anthony can have $100 bill on on the 50% off coupon?
I think he might have been the one that froze some. He's got some waiting.
There you go. I've also expanded my waistline.
I feel so fat right now.
So we're gonna have pizza after this, right, guys?
All right. This confession time. What
Uh-oh,
I'm
here we
eating
go.
tonight. So the other night, did some drinking with some buddies and some friends.
I think the coupon was still valid then, wasn't it?
No. Anybody knows me kind of knows my love and joy with White Castles.
Like, I knew he was gonna go there.
You know,
There it is.
it was a treat growing up. You know, we go to Louisville's mainly when we got them. My grandmother would get them for us, blah, blah, blah. Well, I love White Castle. I get White Castle during the day or whatever. But in the last year or so, it just kills me so bad. So I swore off White Castle. I haven't eaten White Castle in forever. So we got a little, tipsy.
Swore off White Castle.
I had to. I swore them off, man. So went to
finally
White
put
Castle. Came back. We ate a decent amount, but ordered way too much. So put it in the fridge. Should have just thrown it away. Oh, yeah. So here's the deal. You've seen those sandwiches, Like you take the Hawaiian rolls, you slice it.
Yep.
You load it up with like ham or turkey, then cheese, and you put the bun back on top, and you got like the butter, onion, all that.
Yeah.
My wife took the leftover chicken ring sandwiches with cheese, and she doctored them up that way. So that's what I got upstairs waiting on me when we get done here.
Very nice. So that's crazy. You are the king of White Castle.
I love it, dude.
I think it was best
But I
of
swarm off. Done.
was best of 2022 blinds when we went to White Castle after that. I think it was best of 2022 blinds, and I've never seen so much White Castle consumed in store after midnight my entire life. It must have been 80 to 100 individual.
It was so good.
Burgers and chicken wings.
Then in the moment it was good.
Yeah.
The
Next day, not
aftermath
so
was
good.
So bad. So that's why I swarm off, man. I can't.
I remember I woke up and I was like, why?
Well, boys, we have another Zuckerberg review this week.
Zuckerberg coming
Delivered
at
by
ya.
the Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got a double. Oh, yeah. I can't cut that out.
Well, here's
Sorry,
why.
Shannon.
No. Here's why. I went to YouTube,
Yep.
listened to some Kool-Aid Man commercials.
Uh-oh.
She is misremembering her childhood. I do not sound like the Kool-Aid Man.
You don't, do I?
No.
Okay. Well, I wish
Man,
I
it
did.
might sound dumb, but it don't sound like the Kool-Aid Man. So,
all right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, on to the review here. So this review was left for us on Facebook by Mr. Ryan Roberts, and he said, best bourbon podcast out there with honest reviews, 5 out of 5 stars after finally getting through every episode over the past year. We got another completer. Looking forward to
That's
trying.
impressive.
Yeah, exactly. He said, looking forward to trying out some rare character and dark arts whiskey once it comes to North Carolina. That is fantastic. So we would like to personally thank Ryan for listening to the whole catalog, which all of you should do if you haven't done it already.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it?
I'm just being honest
Not
with
even
you.
Kenny has listened to the whole catalog, but that's fantastic. We appreciate our listeners so much, and that's actually something to highlight real quick. We haven't had a lot of Facebook reviews lately. Facebook is a really easy way to leave a review, and we will see it immediately, and we will give you a shout out.
And I would like to say if this sounds like Ryan has not had rare character dark arts.
Right.
So Mr. Ryan Roberts, if you want to PM me, I will get you some rare character and dark art samples.
Slide into those DMs.
Boom, boom.
Boom.
I'll give an extra shout out.
Uh-oh.
I was hanging out with my buddy, a good buddy that now lives in Ecuador.
Really?
And I found out that he listens every week.
Really? So we
So-
have listeners in Ecuador?
We have Ecuador cred now. So I'll give a shout out to Jake in Ecuador.
All right.
And we appreciate you.
We do
And,
appreciate you, Jake.
What grade was that? Second grade? Third grade? They did a huge thing on Ecuador in second grade.
Really?
They had like an old refrigerator box. You cut it open and made like a big, it was like a big, huge
Diorama.
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 Of Ecuador.
So do you have Ecuadorian facts?
There
Fun
you go.
facts?
Mm,
I need 3 of them.
it's been from second grade, bro.
So you got this.
Let me think here.
Tell him what he's won.
Ecuador has something to do with equator.
Okay.
There you go.
It's one
It's
fun
like-
fact.
It's one thing there.
Something to do.
And let me go through here. Now. Caracas, Venezuela, Bogota, Colombia. I got to get to that. Let me go through that little song that I learned in Spanish class.
Let's go ahead and sing it. We got time.
Oh, boy.
man.
I'm about tapped out.
There you
That was
go.
second grade, bro. It was a long time ago. Lime, Peru. Lime, Peru. We learned a song, to learn the capitals of,
Well, I don't know what else to say about that.
If you would like a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Facebook, and next time we record, we'll give you one.
That's perfect. That's what I wanted to say.
But you can't.
There you go.
So, gentlemen, for this week, I'm curious. Did this bottle just kind of show up at your door in a basket with a little, blanket, and it was crying?
Absolutely.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
The Zuckerberg dropped it off instead of the stork.
You mean the sucker stork?
Yeah, there you go.
So, for this week, we have a bottle of Orphan Barrel Indigo Hour Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for saying that and saving me.
This bottle comes to us from the Orphan Barrel Distillery, which isn't really a distillery. It's a Diageo-owned bottling facility in Tullahoma, Tennessee. The bottle date is 2024. The ABV is 45. Proof is 90. The age is 18 years. The mash bill is unknown, but the side of the bottle says this juice comes from Kentucky and Indiana, so that's where the distillate's from. And the MSRP on this is $225. In Kentucky, though, I've seen it mostly after tax selling for about $250. And as of recording right now, there's not really a secondary value on this bottle.
Those are some big bones.
You are 1-1 as of right now as well.
What's that mean, 101?
We will reveal after the show.
Okay.
But this bottle also comes to us from Hector. Did you know
Hector.
that? Did I tell you that?
Hector gave us this?
Again, dude.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
So we need to go. We are supposed to go record down at his down at the pizza shop, and we need to do that very soon, guys.
Yes, we do. And
Got to get
Hector,
our schedule aligned.
we were just talking about Jets, but if Hector has pizza that's half as good, we're going to be walking out of there.
Wheelbarrowing out.
Yeah, we're gonna be wheelbarrowed out of that place.
I'm wearing sweatpants and an extra large shirt that day. I got room to grow.
Oh my god, dude! So let's talk about this bottle design. If you've seen one Orphan Barrel, which Kenny has a whole shelf of them over here,
Yep. You seen one, you seen them all.
you've seen them all. In
The
terms of
shape, anyway.
The shape,
The shape.
Yes, absolutely.
The labels are always unique and striking, I believe.
Right, I
Yeah,
agree.
they are.
And this one is no exception. In fact, if you hold this up to the light, it has like an iridescent kind of
Shimmy.
view of it. Shimmy.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of an old comic book cover, right?
Yeah.
During the 90s, and they had a lot of comic books. Like, I want the foil comic. It's a pretty cool one. So this one has a butterfly
It's pretty.
on it, and it's very pretty. And the first thing that I thought when I saw this bottle with a butterfly on it, I said, "Where is Blue Run? And are they going to file a lawsuit against Diageo?" And I thought, like, they can't file a lawsuit against Diageo because Diageo will just countersue them for everything. Because that's what Diageo
It
does.
is Diageo,
That's what they do.
right.
They sue people. So anyway, all joking aside, it's a very nice looking bottle. It's beautiful, in fact.
Do they have the same artist do all the bottles, or are they different artists?
That I do not know.
Okay.
I would imagine that an outfit that big probably has like some kind of in-house design, or they have an agency they work with that designs these things.
So Max and
Irma's. Any of us Lexingtonian guys, or are they nationwide?
We
I
had
don't
a
know.
Max. We had a Max.
Max in
Irma's.
Romania.
Oh, yeah.
do you think you don't think he's doing this?
Maximilian.
There you go. No, we had one in Northeast Ohio. We had
Oh,
a
did
Max
you?
Irma's.
Okay.
Yeah, we did for sure.
go.
Yeah. in
Well, since
fact-
it's a facts optional podcast, I would say it's the same artist for all of these,
okay, there you go.
and we'll have a
Nice.
we'll have a listener. Tell me if I'm wrong.
There you go. Actually, the Muckety Muck bottle was actually done by somebody that's
They've made me so mad on Muckety Muck.
really. Did you buy Muckety Muck?
All right, so I have the vertical.
Okay. Yes.
So when they keep releasing these, I have to buy them because I have the whole vertical. And they release these nasty Scotch Muckety Muck, crappy Muckety Uckety Buckies. And
Official.
it's ridiculous. So thank goodness they actually released one now that is Kentucky and Indiana distillate
Right.
instead of Tennessee and instead of
Muckety
Scotch and
There
whatever.
you go. Well, they did release Copper Tongue too. Do you have Copper Tongue?
Copper Tongue's disgusting.
So Copper Tongue, Steven, do you know where Copper Tongue is? Your favorite distillery? You know which one? It was sourced from
Dickel?
where this is. Yes, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So that was Dickel source stuff, and that's why they bottle where Dickel's at.
Oh.
Yeah, they bottled in a Dickel.
How about that?
I love to make Dickel jokes. It's one of my favorite things to
do
do.
they encapsulate it with Centrum?
Absolutely no. But I actually do think that even though Kenny said Copper Tongue was disgusting, so we are still discussing the Orphan Barrel series here, I actually thought it wasn't that bad. It didn't have the same mineraliness that normal Dickel does. But that's why, as we're sort of segmenting and talking about this bottle, that I feel that people have given Orphan Barrel in general a rough time. Because some of their more recent releases haven't been the best. And even when they first started, you guys remember when Orphan Barrel started? It's a long time ago.
I did
Was
not
it
get into
like-
bourbon until 2020.
2020.
Was it like mid-teens, late teens?
It was 2014, actually.
Okay.
So we're on like 10 years of the Orphan
That's
Barrel
crazy.
series. Yeah.
Whoop and Holler.
Rhetoric, and
Oh, Blowhard.
Blowhard.
Like on secondary market, the most expensive is Whoop and Holler and Old Blowhard.
Okay.
So I'm assuming those are some of the earlier ones.
Those are the first ones. Yeah.
Was Barter House more like 2018, 2019?
Barter House, I think, was 2017 or 2016.
Okay, I
There was
remember
a
that one.
Rhetoric series that
Yeah.
was like 5 different.
Rhetoric. There's like, yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to take
20
it and
years
go
to
from like
25 year
20 to
rhetoric.
25 years. So they had all these things, but this was at a time when I feel like whiskey consumers still cared more. And when
Gifted
I say,
horse.
Yes, gifted
Horse.
horse. And when I say at a time when they cared more, Kenny, you weren't in whiskey, and Steven, I don't know if you remember this, but when Orphan Barrels hit the scene and they said, essentially the story of Orphan Barrel, why it's called Orphan Barrel, is like, hey, we found a whole lot of barrels that were forgotten about or they were unaccounted for. Like,
It's all PR.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everybody says PR, and then they didn't say where they were getting them from initially. And so all the hardcore bourbon consumers sort of turned their noses up at them and they're like, this trash hole marketing stuff is going on. And we don't need to buy this whiskey because it's no good anyway. It's overpriced garbage. But now we fast forward to present day, and I still think they fight that stereotype and that sort of story and legacy that they had from the beginning, because I still don't feel that their bottles are valued in a way that other stuff might be if they would have been more transparent about it. I don't know.
Now, side note, there was actually a legit, quote, Orphan Barrel broker, right? It's called like Forgotten Barrel or Forgotten...
I think there's all kind of barrel
You know what I'm
brokers
talking about?
that have lots.
That
Yeah.
they will go and like buy stuff that is legitimately forgotten about.
Right.
And they'll bottle it and sell it as a special one-time experience.
Right, and that stuff exists in whiskey. I know, Kenny, you probably have a lot to say about it too. That stuff, like what you're talking about, exists in whiskey. It's just that because Diageo put their full marketing behind it, people
Correct.
were kind of just automatically skeptical or like, I'm not going to buy that. And I'll tell you how bad it was for them here in a second. But I don't know what you think about this whole lost barrel. We got lost barrels. We got barrels that are above board. They're below board. They're out there, but it's called Orphan Barrel for better or worse.
Yeah, no, it's if you go over to you can go to Journey Drinkers and look for the episode with Harry, Micah, Mosick, and myself.
There's a lot of yelling in that episode.
But Harry had some seriously good factual information about barrels being quote unquote lost and how they become lost and all those sort of things. But yeah, I definitely believe in lost barrels. I know I can't disclose who, but a buddy of mine has another buddy that's a very high up at a distillery, and he's even, they all the time like, oh yeah, we found these 20-year-old barrels.
Right.
Some of them taste horrible. Some of them are like, wow, this is freaking epic juice. But it's so much is evaporated out.
Yeah.
They can't do much with it. So they'll just, taste it themselves. Employees taste it, or, they might have it in the rick house. If you're doing a barrel pick, you might get to sample it or something. But
Perks
they can't
of
really
the
do much
job and
with it,
everything,
Yeah. So now they definitely, orphan barrels do exist. Speaking of that, so my first orphan barrel I had was actually forged oak.
Oh,
15 year.
I remember that.
It was actually good. Steve Lewis, firefighter Steve, I had it at his house. He cracked one.
okay.
My buddy Chris, I had Rhetoric something. I don't know which year it was.
Okay.
At his place. And then Barterhouse. Barterhouse is fire. Barterhouse is like Stitzel juice.
Right.
So, like, just imagine if Barterhouse was not 90 proof, if Barterhouse was like 105 to 110 proof, that might be like a top 5 whiskey of all time, man.
I agree.
It was so good. But
If they had the marketing right too, and they would just come out and say what it was instead of like old barrels found in this
Yeah.
place or found in that place. Yeah.
But Forged Oak was really good. The Barterhouse was great. I had Whoop and Holler and Old Blowhard down at J-Hob, and both were great. I enjoyed them both.
Okay. Well, I'll say this to give you an idea before we start nosing here of how eroded the brand was initially. When I say eroded, I mean for a new release at the time period from 2014 to 2017, and I think I may have told the story before, I'm going to retell it because it's very important to note. In 2017, I knew what was good whiskey, and I knew enough about it to know that people gave Orphan Barrel a bad name, right? They were kind of saying, oh, it's overpriced hype source stuff in 2017. So I went back to the archives. I went to Bourboner. That's a group you don't hear about as much anymore, right? So I went to Bourboner and I searched my post. And in 2017 in Bourboner, I posted a shelf in my hometown of Orphan Barrel. It was 6 bottles of Rhetoric 23, 3 bottles or 6 bottles of Forged Oak, and 3 bottles of Barterhouse. The Barterhouse was $75. The Forged Oak was $64.99. And the Rhetoric was $109.99. So it was $110.65 and $75. I could have cleared that shelf. I posted it with like the eyes emojis, and people were like, "Clear the shelf, clear the shelf." You know what I did? I bought 2 bottles of each, right?
Barterhouse is so good.
2 bottles of each, and then I told my aunt and uncle. They went down and bought some too. But I remember asking the guy, I'm like, why are you just sitting here? He's like, I don't know. They sent them to us from the warehouse, and nobody's interested in them. Nobody's interested in them. Just sitting on the shelf in Warren, Ohio.
I remember
at that
when,
price.
when like
wild.
when
That's wild
Costco
as
had
hell.
like a set of them,
Yep.
and this was like years ago, so I don't know how many bottles there were. I
Yep.
remember they were just selling at Costco. They were selling for like thousands of dollars.
You're talking about when they re-released the whole series. So they tried to do a vertical re-release.
Okay, is that what it was?
Yeah, and they charged like what, like $3,000
It
or
was a
something
lot.
like that. It was a lot of money, and people kind of avoided it for that reason. But yeah, and that was the re-release. It's crazy. So they haven't had smooth sailing. I mean, they've sold a crap ton of bottles, but it's not been smooth sailing with this series. So I'm
They have a
interested to try
Facebook
this one.
group that is like nothing but Orphan Barrels.
Okay.
Like it's the whole name of the group.
Like of this brand or
Yeah.
actual Orphan Barrels?
No, of this brand. Yeah, it's this
Wow.
whole brand. So that way, if you're looking for a bottle and you've got the whole vertical -1 or -2 here
Right.
and there, you can go through and try to find those.
Right.
Well, boys, you ready to give this a nose?
Sure.
Les nose. Get some woodiness.
Yeah. So there's a weird contrast going on here on this nose. You got like the woody cherry toothpick thing going on, and then you got like then you got like a little bit of mint too, though. You got like a little bit of a low candy mint, like a spearmint lifesaver or something like breath saver kind of going on too.
That's the thing. They're still not. I mean, so on the side of the bottle, this is a blend of Kentucky and Indiana. So it's MGP and who knows what. I just wish they were like super transparent.
Right.
Like a Holiday is, or that OKI release that showed, said everything specifically on it.
Right.
Because it really is. It is the mintiness, but then it's also that toothpicky.
Yeah.
It's kind
Cherry,
of it really is.
And whatever they put, like, I think that's the MGP maybe coming through, because I'm guessing Indiana's MGP. So as we're talking about this, because you guys know how much I love brand communications, you're going to have to bear with me here for a second. But I was wondering why they had a butterfly on there. I know I joked about Blue Run earlier, but they have this clever thing. When I went to their website, it says, as day fades to dusk, the sun spreads its wings across the sky, painting an indigo color across the horizon for all to soak in. A true metamorphic spirit, the label pays homage to the endless fields and rich stories of Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee, where our liquid was carefully distilled, aged, and bottled. Just as Indiana's native pipevine swallowtail butterfly undergoes metamorphosis, our bourbon-making process is treated with the same patience, craft, and care before emerging from its barrels. So their process is just like a butterfly.
Kenny, I've watched a lot of sunsets,
Uh-huh.
and I've never thought about a butterfly.
You didn't?
No, I have not.
This is just what you've been looking for. It's right here in a bottle, and it's described for you. And what else could be more beautiful than that?
Yeah, and they didn't distill any of it. So that's just one of those fancy stories.
You guys are
They
unimpressed.
blended it and bottled it.
Oh, you're
they
so
blended it and
unimpressed.
bottled it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we should call them up and tell them stop that. Just stop it. Just put what it is.
Sounds like
on
one
the
of those
label.
stories on some other random
Right.
bourbon that starts like,
Right.
family recipe that lay dormant for years. We revived it.
Right. Get some yeast from tanks or something.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Or off the trees.
From mash tank number 5.
Mash tank number 5,
Scraping
or
the yeast
trays
off.
or whatever. Just get
OC
that yeast
Dizzle.
in there. There you go. So yeah, I don't know. It's it smells good, but I don't know what it's going to taste like, and I also don't know if anybody's ever told them. Maybe they should just create an Orphan Barrel where the front label is just everything that's in the bottle.
There you go.
No marketing. That would be really good.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, this refreshing change of pace. Or actually, while we're talking about it, do you think that maybe the problem with Orphan Barrel has been the fact that have they ever released anything above 100 proof?
No, it's all low proof.
It's always low proof. Like always, what, 90 proof?
It's 90.
80, 90 proof.
Yeah, 90 and something might be 90.4, might be, but no, it's all low like that.
Yikes. Actually, I think Barterhouse made it like 89.8. I just made it up.
So it's all the same proof.
I think it's all about 90, right at 90.
Yeah.
But
Seems like they're trying to get
That's
the
what
most
I'm
out of
saying
the
with-
barrel.
yeah,
Right.
Same with Barterhouse, man. If Barterhouse was like 105, 110 proof, gosh, dang it.
And then didn't they try to spin some story when somebody called them out on proofs? Yeah, I think that's the way people tried to explain it back in the day. It was like, well, 20-year-old bourbon coming out of a barrel, you don't want to drink what that looks like coming out of the barrel. And I'm like, yeah, now that I've had more experience, I think we probably could have, I think it would have been fine.
Well, should we go for first taste of this butterfly?
Yes, can't wait.
I'm like a bird. Yeah, Barterhouse is 45.1, so it's 90.2 proof.
Ooh, that extra 0.2 proof really sets it apart.
Scientific.
Oh,
So Anthony brought Barterhouse over the other day.
I did.
And like I said, man, if it was 105 to 110, I stand by that statement, man. It would be absolute ridiculous fire. It's like 20-year Stitzel, man. It's great.
It would be hot fire.
Forged oak is really good too, though.
You know what's funny? I don't remember liking forged oak that much. I thought it was too oaky, but I feel like that was the junior version of myself. Now that I'm a little more senior in tasting, I'd probably appreciate it more.
And since the name oak is in there, that might have been also like making you think oak. I don't know.
Forged oak reminded me of like the first time I had an IPA where I was like, woo, what is that bitterness? This was like forged oak. I was like, dang, that's oak. So what are you tasting?
I get honey.
You know what? I do think that's a predominant note in this. Is
I get honey.
A honey and a little toasted barrel and a tiny bit of baking spice. And I'm trying to pull the fruit out of here, but I haven't yet.
I'm getting the fruit I'm trying to pull out. You're right.
I'm getting honey.
It's not like sweet honey though. It's sweet honey, but it's also got a little bit of earthy texture to it. Like y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but here's what it reminds me of right now. The honey lemon power of persuasion is real, but like take some black tea, brew it lightly, put a nice amount of honey in it, and squeeze a tiny, tiny tad of lemon on top. Mix it all together, and you get a little bit of that, like a little bit of the tea with the honey. So it's earthy honey.
And being 18 years old, that the actual oak definitely comes out in that.
I think that's responsible for a lot of the spice and a little bit of that like backbone. Actually, something I enjoy. It's a full flavor for 90 proof, isn't it?
Definitely one of the more, like not counting Dusties. You can't count Dusties,
right.
Like old school legit Dusties.
Dusty Roads.
But definitely one of the more flavorful 90 proofers I've had for sure. Like definitely for sure.
Right.
Does it taste watery?
Yeah, that's the only problem I would say about it. It's not watery.
I don't know of any 90 proofers that aren't old Dusties.
Yeah, it's like
that aren't watery a little bit.
Okay. So here's what I was going to say. I didn't mean to get into high proof versus low proof sips, right? High proof's always going to punch you in the face, but some nights that you just want something nice to sip on. That's what I remember with Barterhouse. One time I opened a bottle of Barterhouse with my buddy Mike, and we sat on my back porch and watched, I think, some Cleveland Indians, well, Guardians, whatever you want to call them, but it was Cleveland Indians at the time, watching some Cleveland Indians baseball, and we probably drank a third of that Barterhouse and didn't even know we drank it because it's such a smooth sipper and tastes so good. We're just like, oh, okay. Oh, my God. Like, what happened to that? And I feel like this is kind of the same way. Like, it's got a nice flavor to it, and it's something that's going to be a smooth sipper, not something that you're going to want to put down and you probably want to have more of. And you can because it's only 90 proof. But criticize anything about it right now, I would say the finish is a little critical on the finish.
I was just going to say, I feel a little disappointed with that watery note I'm getting out of it in the finish.
Okay. Well, I'm like Kenny. I poured a really small pour on my first one, and I see him going for more. I think I want to have a tiny bit more, too. And since it's 90 proof, you can. Hey, is this Blanton's? I'm just kidding. Is Blanton's 90 proof?
93.
Oh, I shortchanged Blanton's there. Here.
Weller 12 is 90. Weller Special Reserve is 90.
Yeah.
Weller 12 OWA is 90.
OWA is 90. Why not?
Facts optional.
Yep. Facts optional. We only called it 107 for no reason at all. So this is what I'm interested in. Now that you have a little extra pour over there, Steven, will you feel the same way about this as you did initially?
I'm looking at this bottle.
For your second. Yeah, go ahead.
Now you go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I don't really have you know what I wanted to tell you? Adding on, after you told me about the bottle, to the diminishing of the brand, I was reading, because the thing that released right before this was Scarlet Shade, right?
Which honestly tasted pretty good.
I thought so too, right? Scarlet Shade was the rye, 14-year-old Indiana rye release that they did. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm not sure if I really agree with. Bourbonculture.com, which presumably has a pretty big following because, they have their thing there. They had an article saying Scarlet Shade reminded them why Orphan Barrel is forgettable whiskey. And that was the title of the article. When I read it, it seemed like they were redeeming things, but they also criticized proof a lot. And so I was like, are they just trying hard to make people continue to hate Orphan Barrel? Do they actually hate it? I don't know. And I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying I saw that article and I was like, okay, everyone's still crapping on the brand because of the proof, right?
Scarlet Shade was good.
I thought so.
It just means lower proof.
Right.
And it was 14 years old, right, I think?
Yeah, 14-year-old MGP.
So 14-year MGP,
95.5.
it's one of those things where the Orphan Barrel one probably wasn't worth it because you could get other 14-year MGP for $80, $100, $50, $70 less, but it was still good though.
Right.
This is good. This is very flavorful because you think about most of 90 proof stuff.
Right.
A little vanilla, a little caramel, and that's it. This has more to it than that. So
I'm getting some like melon notes now too.
Who'd be the buyer for? I feel like this is a collecting bottle.
Yep.
Just from what I've seen. And so, are people going to buy this regardless if they try it or not?
yes, people will buy this because they have the vertical
Of the art.
Well, the artwork, but really just mainly because of the vertical, and they have all the other bottles.
Okay.
But the thing is, and we'll get to our past trial by later, but there's a few bottles in this series that I see people buying to open up and drink. Barter House being one.
Right.
Forged Oak because the price is lower. I see people opening those, but
I seen a lot of Red Arc open too.
but Barter House is the big one that everybody opens up, man.
Right. Yeah. Kind of a diamond in the rough.
Okay.
What were you going to say about this bottle, Kenny?
I'm looking at the bottle. It is a quarter gone.
Right.
So I'm going to have to find a nice bottle to give Hector when we take this bottle back to him.
Oh,
Because we drank a little more than I thought we'd drink.
well, how about a full bottle? No, I'm just kidding.
I might have to go look for one. I saw one the other day at Liquor Bar and almost got it. I already own two of them, so that's why I didn't buy a third one.
Okay.
But actually, I'm going back by Liquor Bar. If they have them, I'll buy a whole bottle and just give it back to Hector and keep this open with myself.
Man.
Oh, did you get your Blizzard the other day?
I did.
What flavor do you do when you do
I did cookie dough.
cookie dough?
Yeah.
I'm a Reese cup and Butterfinger mixed together.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Next time I need to go, I need to get the Reese cup with peanut butter.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I get the Butterfinger because it's peanut
I
buttery,
like-
but
I
it's
like-
got that little crispiness to it.
I like Butterfinger. I was also disappointed this past year on Halloween. The kids didn't get many Butterfingers, and that's usually the time of the year I eat Butterfinger.
Right.
Is during Halloween. So thing 1 and 2. Would you pass, try, or buy on the Orphan Barrel Indigo Hour Straight Bourbon Whiskey?
So, can I talk quickly about what happened before we tried this?
Yeah.
Talk
So,
quickly.
I believe this is twice now because I got a bottle of Barter House. I got one for a family member, and then I also got one for myself. And I really wanted, because Barter House is probably one of my favorite Orphan Barrels I've ever had.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So I opened it one night when we were here, just sipping. And then I said, I want to compare that to Indigo's Hour. So it was the first time I tried Indigo Hour. And I actually picked Indigo's Hour over Barter House.
I blinded Anthony that night.
He blinded me. I picked Indigo's Hour over it. Then we ran it back.
Ran it back. Barter House won.
And Barter House won. So I'm 1-1. But what that showed me is that this is an exceptional whiskey. So after the first time that this happened, being that this is kind of plentiful in Kentucky right now, I say kind of plentiful, not that you're going to find it at every store, but it is showing up in places and it's at around retail price. So I bought 2 of them. So I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and said anything different other than buy. And I think that at $2.50, people will probably regret not buying at $2.50 unless the bourbon market takes a huge dump, because I think this could be the next
Barter House. The next $400 $450
I
bottle.
think it could. Yeah. And that's a preference. Some people might say, well, I tried Barter House and I hate it. It's 90 proof. I like high proof stuff. If you like high proof stuff and you can't like sip like kind of slow and low, like I call it, then you might not like this. But that's my take.
So, but I'm going to go back to what Steve was talking about earlier with the non-alcoholic type stuff. So to me, like a 90 proofer is non-alcoholic. So that's this is my version of non-alcoholic bourbon.
That's ridiculous.
I'm not giving it up, but
I love it.
So 90 proof is my non-alcoholic bourbon, just so y'all know. So this is something that you can just sit with, sip, enjoy, drink a lot of it. You can pour yourself 3 or 4 fingers, sip it for a while, pour you another 3 or 4 fingers and drink it. I'm definitely a buy as well. When we did the blinds, I picked Barter House as winner both times.
Right.
But this is pretty. But I even told you guys. I said I think this is the next quote unquote Barter House from them. I think this is something that 2 years from now will probably be $400, $425 secondary. I think it will have a value later because it actually tastes really good. And it's one of the more flavorful 90 proofers I've had.
Yeah, I think they've created exceptional whiskey here.
Yeah, so I'm a buy. I kind of feel dumb for not buying that one I saw at Liquor Barn the other day, but I already had 2 of them. And so probably grab one more.
Is that a new segment? Buy, but how many?
Yeah, we shouldn't open those cans. We should open that up, bro. So,
Oh man.
Steven.
do not feel any peer pressure, bro.
Yes, you are out on
do
an
not
island.
feel peer pressure.
If you don't like it, you say it.
Yeah,
You
seriously,
say it.
no peer pressure.
All right, I'm gonna give you reasons. Just I'm not gonna tell you any.
No,
what
I
my
want to
answer
hear
is.
it.
All right.
Talk some sense into us. We're crazy. We're greedy mad chickens.
I enjoyed the lightness and the flavors of the drink. I don't know if I like the wateriness of it. It is 250.
Yep.
And what Kenny said, that you can drink this and just have a nice night. I can also do that with a lot of other bourbons with ice.
Oh, okay.
So I could be a pass, try, or buy on this.
Oh.
Which
What's your heart telling you?
initially it was a try,
Okay.
but it's good.
You want to pause for a second and I'll blind you real quick?
Please.
Yeah, and Kenny's falling across the basement, too.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's got your blind
touching
set.
me.
There you go. You're all
Blinds,
set.
go.
So I have 2 glasses in front of me, which is more than I started with.
Right.
No, 2 glasses. That's your
So
blinds.
it's one
No, that's your blinds.
is can
Don't
I,
overthink it.
is
You're gonna-
one
You're going to blind those 2.
is one the Orphan Barrel, one something else?
Who knows?
Okay.
You're going to blind those 2, and you're going to pick first place, second place, and what you think.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to pour myself some Dark Hearts over here.
Dark farts.
Macaulay left some stuff behind. I want to try it because
I got a grape soda note out of the right one you poured me, or Dynatap, we'll call it. The right one is grape soda. That's all I taste.
Okay.
Which is weird, but that's all
Okay.
I taste. I want to feel like the left one is the Orphan Barrel.
That's what I'm saying. All you're doing is first place, second place. The only thing about try to think which one's which. Just
I love
Well,
this right
I don't
now.
know if I like the grape soda at all, because
Okay.
it's not bourbon.
I like Steven being on a hot seat because Kenny does this to me all the time. Now he's doing it to Steven live on stage.
So you like left or right?
I mean, by default, I guess I like left because the other one is too grape soda.
Okay. I'm going to try it again real quick. Make sure I don't mess them up.
Grape soda like Fago.
Try it. Or Dynatap.
No, I'm not going to. Fago.
Okay. So
I don't know if there's a clear winner. It's just
you like left better. Then.
just left because I just don't like the profile right.
I bet one of them was 4 grain.
So the
Old Stubborn's in there somewhere.
the left one.
Yeah.
Old stubborn 4 grain.
Oh boy. The left one is the Orphan Barrel.
Okay.
The right one is Elmer T. Lee.
Wow.
That's a 90 proofer.
Okay.
Although it's 60 retail, you're 200, 225 for that. So,
You said Dimetap was the
It's just has a huge grape forward.
Elmer T?
Yeah.
That's not. There should be grape flavors in the bourbon. Elmer would make a face over that.
should be vanilla and smooth.
Holy hell, that is grapey. It's not grippy, but it's
Right?
grapes. It's a little bit grape, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
I don't know if
fruity.
that cleared anything up, Kenny.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying some of our listeners are probably like a lot of people when they first get into bourbon.
Right.
And they're chasing Elmer T. Lee and Rock Hill Farm and Blanton and E.H. Taylor and blah, 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 blah. So before you pay
The BT
200,
vertical.
before you pay $200 for an Elmer T. Lee, $225 for an Elmer T. Lee, this Orphan Barrel at $240 just freaking crushes it, in my opinion. But
It does.
You could play 300 for Rock Hills, though.
The deals.
I had an S to Rock Hills now because Weller's, Z, Rock Hills, Elmer's.
so where you at? You see a try or
I'm
you
just
pass?
I'm gonna say try because I
Try.
don't know.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
No,
And that was my that was my initial thought, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I give it different reasons, I could probably be pulled either way.
See, I just enjoy Dusty's, man. This is getting close to that dustiness. It's not as near as dusty as Barter House, but it's getting close to that. Just what you say, watery, man. But I get still like a creaminess.
There is.
It isn't quite velvety like the bottle from last week. That Fitz 13-year.
Oh.
But it's still kind of creamy though. I know I can understand a little watery though because it is 90 proof, but
Right.
it's still got that hair bit of creaminess to it.
Maybe for the price, and I'm tasting watery.
Right.
I just those two things I don't like. So maybe that's why I kind of pulled it down a little bit.
No.
I just think that for a 90 proof bourbon, this is a really nice, flavorful 90 proof bourbon.
Flavor is good. Yeah.
But yes, I get what you're saying, because just because flavor is good, it's still a $225 bottle. It's a lot of money.
And I can't get over what you guys said about all these Orphan Barrels.
Right.
No matter all the ages, they're all coming in around the 90 proofer.
Right.
Which means they're, in my head, they're just going for, I mean, they're all old, so there's not much juice to begin with in the barrels.
They're stretching the hell
They're
out of
stretching
that
the
juice.
hell
Yes.
out of the barrel
Yes, they are.
to make bottles.
Right.
And, you know, it is what it is.
Right. And some of the early Orphan Barrels actually had numbers on the bottles. I don't know if that means anything, but these do not. So that might mean they're even more mass produced than we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all good.
All good.
Is there anything else y'all want to say?
Yeah, I want to finish by saying, oh yeah. Shout out to Shannon.
Oh my God. Kenny, if I
Old Louisville pick. Oh yeah.
if I leave that in there, your wife might kill me, but I think I'm gonna have to do it.
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also, let us know your thoughts on the bottom of the comment section. Until next time, keep it new.